And now we bring you another page from the diary of the world's greatest actor, Master Thespian.
The Old Vic Theatre is begging me to replace Olivier tonight in the role of Hamlet. Apparently, he has lost his voice. Finally, a chance to expose Olivier for the fraud he is and replace him forever. But how? How?
We'll tell you how. Lots of instability in the job market these days. But you know who's used to not knowing where their next meal is coming from? Actors. It's a tough profession. You get rejected. The hours are unpredictable. You don't know when you're working, when you're not. But I'll let Michael Shore dish the dirt on the industry. He's a working actor in Montreal, and chances are you've seen him on TV at some point. And he joins us with tips for struggling actors. He's also one of the top audition coaches in Canada. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Tommy. Thanks for having me on the show.
Michael, we tried to get you in last week. The timing didn't work, and it was no big deal on our end, but you felt guilty. You wrote something to my producer that I found very interesting. Let me read it back to you. It says, in life, windows are small. If my agent is calling to tell me Steven Spielberg's in town and wants to meet me at 11:30 and I don't get the message in time, it's my fault, my problem, and generally my lost opportunity. As an actor, especially one trying to make a living out of it, it seems that timing is everything. Opportunities need to be pounced on with tiger-like readiness. Is that true?
Well, I think that's definitely true, Tommy. I think that opportunities are limited, and I think that we often have to create our own opportunities. I also think that, you know, as people, we have 50% responsibility in everything that we do. So if I live on call 24/7 and then the phone rings and I don't answer it, then guess what? I slipped. So it's never really anybody else's fault but my own. I try and do the best I can to just stay on top of everything all the time.
Now, you've been in this, your family's been in the entertainment business, show business for generations,
Yes,
fifth
sir.
consecutive generation to devote your life to the performing arts, one of the top acting teachers, audition coaches in the country. What is it, do you think, that keeps you going?
Well, honestly, Tommy, I think it's passion. I don't think that it's the money, that's for sure. Being a working actor, working in the film and television business requires a tremendous amount of personal sacrifice, financial sacrifice. My time is hardly ever my own. So I think that the secret is about being flexible and being available to other people whenever they need you.
If someone's listening right now, they're thinking of going into the business. They want to be an actor, or they have a son or a daughter who wants to go into the business. What would you tell them?
I would absolutely encourage them. At the same time, I would tell them, look, get professional training if you want to work professionally, and also create opportunities for yourself so that you can support yourself, financially, because you cannot count on acting on a regular basis to support you, to pay your bills, to pay your car payments and your rent.
514-790-0991. You can text the question if you like to 514-800. Since you've been at this for quite some time, has there been a big change? I remember when before there were so many gatekeepers to get into a movie. It was very complicated, etc. Now, do you feel there's more chances of people being able to put together a play on their own, to be in a fringe festival, to put something together on YouTube, to do a film with their phone video camera? Is it easier to do that?
I absolutely think so. I mean, the technology that we have available to us now means that anybody can go out into their backyard and they can shoot some stuff, take it in on their home computer, edit it, put it online, and have people see it. It may not be commercially marketable in the same way that, a $100 million Hollywood feature is, but anybody who wants to be creative, there's absolutely nothing stopping them from getting out there and doing something. The definition of act is take action. Do something. Anything.
Okay. Did you see the movie Clerks?
Yes, I sure did. That's
these
you're
guys,
going back a while.
Oh, yeah. These guys borrowed money with $50,000 and it did extremely well. Miramax found them out and gave them a fantastic contract, etc. So it is possible to do. What are some of the jobs you've done while acting to make sure that you can pay the rent?
I've done just about everything. I spent about 150 days on a TV show called Mysterious Ways, working as a technician, as a production assistant, working in locations. I've got tons of days on set as a lamp op, which is an electrician working with lighting. I've worked as an on-set acting coach and as an assistant director. I've actually just finished working on my second feature that I helped out as a producer on. We just came back from the Canadian Film Fest in Toronto a couple of weeks ago. We won 3 awards for our film, Hit and Strum, which is a perfect example of what you're talking about. The Kirk Cowett, who's one of the world's best stuntmen, he's decided to let his career evolve. So he's left stunts, and he's written a couple of films. He's reinventing himself as a filmmaker and a musician. So he did the soundtrack and the script for this movie, and he financed it.
800.
Remember, thespian, when you speak, you must say your lines in an ascending scale of volume and pitch, till your final words ring nobly, then tremble while descending.
In studio with us, actor and acting coach Michael Shore. When people, they like the idea of the glamour of the movies, a few people realize this has to do with a lot of waiting and hard work. But if somebody has landed an audition for a commercial or for a movie, what are some of the things you've been teaching them how to handle these auditions? Or what are some of the things people do right and some of the things people do wrong?
Well, it's funny, Tommy, because I think that most people think that acting is pretty much the same as it was in high school when you got on stage and did a play. And the irony is that when we work for the camera in film and television, it's completely different. We're doing a bunch of shots out of context. We're doing reaction shots. It's not at all the same animal as acting in a play. Now, being a good actor is a prerequisite for auditioning well, but it doesn't mean that you're going to audition well. You have to be very prepared for the audition. And I think that the biggest mistake that most people make is they come in there apologizing for themselves.
Right.
And they're not having a good time. Their audition isn't necessarily prepared well, and they're not coming in there prepared to hit it out of the park. I mean, our competition when we go into audition for a role, no matter how small it is,
right,
our competition is world class. Whenever I show up in an audition, I recognize other people at the audition from TV. I'm always going against bigger guys. I went for a Bell commercial a couple of weeks ago. I actually saw one of your colleagues from here at the radio station out auditioning for the same part as I was auditioning for. So, in spite of the fact that...
What part was that?
For the Bell guy. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to say
the repair guy. Yeah.
For the repair guy. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun. I mean, look, the truth is that acting is something...
So tell me how you prepare. How did you prepare for that audition?
Well, I mean, a commercial with only a couple of lines, the first thing I do is I memorize my lines, and then I kind of build it like it's a little play. I have a moment before, I have an inciting incident, I have some emotional transformations that happen as new information comes in, or somebody says or does something odd or funny, and at the end of the commercial, there's always some kind of a wrap-up. With the badumch of the end of the commercial. Now, I'll prepare that like I'll prepare a play, and I'll rehearse it 40, 50 times, whereas a lot of other people will come in and they'll just wing it. And I figure you can't wing it when you're competing on that kind of a level. It's like a person with tremendous natural ability to play, let's say, hockey in high school.
Right.
And you want to grow up and you want to play for the Habs. Well, my recommendation is 1, you get a ton of training. 2, you practice a lot. 3, you practice a whole bunch more. And 4, you practice a whole bunch more. And then when you get out there and you actually get to audition, you play. You throw your plan out the window and you have a great time. You meet people and you connect with people. You want to be likable. You want to be easy to work with. Our days on set are very long. Often they're 15 or 20 hours long. So your ability to perform the scene is only one part of what makes you bookable for the job. So in the audition...
And you have to know all the people who are doing the casting directors, right? Call them, but don't call them too often, right?
Well, actually, I don't call the casting directors themselves. I deal with my agent. I'm in constant relationship with my agent, and I let my agent do that job and try and get me the job interviews. Every audition is a job interview. And as actors, we go from contract to contract. More often than not, our jobs are only a day or so long. So
for an audition like that, and there's 2 or 3 lines, you're playing a banker, a repairman, whatever. You by the time you get there, you know that line completely. You've practiced this, you said, 50 times.
Oh, backwards, forwards, inside and out. I mean, if it's only 2 or 3 lines, I've probably gone way beyond 50 times. 50 times, if I'm running a scene that's only 30 seconds or a minute long, that's only 15 or 20 minutes of practice. I'm putting in 2 or 3 hours of practice on everything.
And who do you look at?
Pardon me?
Who do you look at? Do you look on the side? Do you look at the person you're doing the audition with?
Well, when you're auditioning, normally, if you're doing a spokesman role or something like that, you'll look directly into the camera. But the rest of the time, you're looking at a reader who's next to the camera, or you're looking at a card which has the lines written out, which is next to the camera. They want it to appear that you're being interviewed by a person and you're talking to a good friend. So rather than pitching or performing, the idea of film and television acting is it should sound truthful.
And make it as conversational as possible, right?
Absolutely.
That's just like radio. We're going to continue our discussion with actor and acting coach... Michael Shore is my guest. To reach him, best way, check out, you can check him out at Michael Gordin Shore on YouTube. His email address, getcast@hotmail.com. That's getcast@hotmail.com. Or like I said, on YouTube, Michael Gordin Shore. Let's go to the phones. We've got Katrina who's got a question. Katrina, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I'd like to ask your guest, please. Could he explain the difference between method acting and regular acting?
That's a great question. I mean, method acting is one style, it's one approach of acting. It's Stanislavski from about 100 years ago. In a nutshell, what method acting says is that if you're going to have to do something when you're performing it, the best way to prepare for it is to actually do the thing. So if you are going to be drinking orange juice and you want to be making the face and actually really sensing it and experiencing it, even though what you're drinking is water, you prepare by drinking orange juice and kind of memorizing the way your face and your tongue feels. And trying to reproduce that.
What if you're playing a murderer?
Well, here's the problem with that, Tommy. If I'm playing a serial killer, I can't prepare for that role by going out and doing those kinds of things. So I look at it like the right tool for the right situation. So different styles of acting training have given me different things that I can pull out of. So if I'm preparing for the role of a serial killer, yes, I might have to look into myself and find those dark places. I might even have to find anger and rage. But I'm an actor. I have to be safe. I can't ever have the other person that I'm working with or anybody else in the world at risk because I'm exploring my creative side. So I think that it's important that we use our imaginations and that when it comes time to do things which are not realistic to prepare by doing the actual thing, I think we need to use our imagination.
Now, I didn't see it personally, but one of my producers tells me you were shadowboxing in the lounge prior to coming into the studio. What's up with that?
Well, here's the thing, Tommy. I think that a lot of performers intellectualize, and I think that what ends up happening is their head and their body disconnect. So their breathing isn't connected to their body, it's not connected to their thoughts. And I think that a physical warm-up is really integral to communicating clearly. Otherwise, what ends up happening is literally our head gets cut off from our body and we just intellectualize stuff. And the truth of the matter is that the information is not what's important in what we're conveying. Our job is not necessarily to convey information. Sometimes our job is to inspire, to trigger something, to
convey emotion. Is that part of it?
To convey emotion, or to demand a response or a reaction from the other person that we're talking to. It's this is life. It's not about ping pong of facts. So personally, I need my body to express myself passionately. My thoughts come from my heels, they come all the way up through my body, and then they come out my mouth.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. You can follow him on Twitter, Michael G. Shore. Check it out on YouTube. On YouTube, what would they find on YouTube if they look you up? Michael Gordin Shore.
You're going to find a bunch of stuff. For starters, you're going to find my demo reel, which has a direct link to my website, which once again is michaelgordonshore.com. You're also going to find a couple of crazy videos of me shaving my head and doing weird things with mohawks and stuff. And yeah, you'll have a great time. I want to thank you very much for bringing me in, Tommy.
Thank you. Michael Shore has been our guest. He's an actor and acting coach in Montreal. Coming in.